Hi everyone, welcome to another video. I want to start this video just to say the biggest thank you to you all for all of your support, your love, your messages. Josh and I were totally overwhelmed by the amount of support that we received after posting that video, so thank you, it means the world. Yeah, so this video I'm kind of just going to be talking about how I found my lump and all of that jazz. So I'm going to be quite open about it because I feel like that's the best way to be for this kind of situation. So if you don't want to find out too much about me, then maybe not wait till the next video. But yeah, so I randomly one day was getting changed. I think I was just doing my deodorant, lifted my arm up, well this arm, but I can't lift it up right now, lifted my arm up and I noticed a difference in my breast. I saw the bottom part of my nipple kind of went in, and I was like, that's a bit strange. Checked on the other side, saw that it wasn't doing it on that side. So then I lifted my arm up again and then I felt and I could feel a lump. I could feel a lump at the top and then I could kind of feel some little lumps, like tiny little ones, on the side. And I remember texting Josh saying, I found a lump, get me booked into a doctor's as soon as possible. I got booked in. I was seen, I think, the next week. So it was like a week since I found it. I went to the doctors and she was like, I'll send you to get a breast scan. Due to COVID, you're going to be waiting a long time, which is so frustrating. I didn't realise how long I would be waiting. But whatever, what can we do these days? So after 2 weeks of waiting just to hear about anything, I finally got a letter through from the hospital to say I had an appointment for a check over in it was 4 weeks time. So I'd been waiting since I found the lump. I waited 6 weeks, which really frustrates me right now because of the outcome, but yeah, there's no point looking back. So yeah, I had to wait 6 weeks to go to the hospital. I then went to the hospital. During that time I had then found another lump that had developed underneath in my armpit basically. For this whole time of waiting, like 6 weeks is a long time and my brain's I always think of the worst. So I just felt like I had breast cancer. It was just something inside of me. There were so many coincidences. Like, I know, you know, when you like get a new car, you see that car everywhere once you've got it, or you name your child that name, then everyone seems to have that name. Well, I felt everything was about breast cancer. Like adverts, that day I found it, I was walking along, the bus stop advert was about breast cancer. Just everything. I had this random, I was on YouTube just like filing through seeing what videos I should watch, and this random account came up. I think it's Delia Chatwin, and it was her announcing to everyone that she had breast cancer. It was just so random. So I watched the video, I prepared myself. Apologies, camera ran out of memory. So where was I had prepared myself mentally that I was going to be told I have breast cancer, but still with the hope that they would say no, just a blocked duct or whatever. So yeah, with COVID I had to go to this appointment alone. Yay. So yeah, I was then called into the doctor's office, where she checked me. She didn't give much away. She's like, okay, we're going to send you for a scan because of your age. We don't want to send you for a mammogram, so let's just have this scan just to see if we can find out what this may be. So I sat waiting for them to call me in for the scan. I had 3 ladies in there with me, and yeah, you could just sense something. So they were scanning, and one of them gave a nod to the other lady, and they started preparing me for biopsies. And obviously when you hear people like preparing stuff, it just makes you nervous. So they weren't really saying much about the scan, weren't telling me anything. They're like, actually, we're going to send you for a mammogram now, then you're going to come back and we're going to take some biopsies from these lumps. So then I went and sat outside again. I remember texting Josh and being like, this doesn't look good, like I just don't have a great feeling about this. Got called in for a mammogram, which if you've had one, I am so sorry. Yeah, I now have to have one for the next, well, every year I've got to have one, and I'm not looking forward to it because they are not pleasant at all. Basically, sorry to scare you, your breast, shall I say, make this sound nicer, basically sits on this table thing, and they basically have this piece of plastic that squishes it, like literally clamps down on your breast. Makes my eyes water thinking about it. Yeah, and they take the scans that they need. So I did that, and I had a really, really lovely nurse there, who I feel like she must have spotted something, because she then followed me into the other room back to where I was having my scan, and she did not leave my side. And I'm so grateful for her. So I lay back down. They're like, right, we're going to do these biopsies. I think, oh, I should look this up before. I think it was like it's called a core needle biopsy. I feel like that's what it was. Basically, they used the scanner to locate the lump. Then I'm trying to think about this. They then gave me anaesthetic, so that they did 2 lots of anaesthetic, one for like the top part, and then they did an anaesthetic deeper down to numb the area. So they did that, so two needles. Then they used the biopsy needle, whatever, to go into the lump. I couldn't feel anything. The only painful thing was, I don't know what they press a button or do something, and it shoots whatever they need to come back out. But it's quite a really loud, well, it is a really loud noise, so it makes you jump, but obviously you don't want to jump because you've got a flipping needle in your breast. Yes, they did that. 3 times for that lump, and then they did it for all the other 3 lumps, so they had like 9 injections. So during that time, like, that's scary, and I'm just having to literally lay there. And luckily I had this amazing nurse next to me who was just stroking my arm, and she checked every single second, was like, are you okay, you okay? And just asked me questions to take my mind off things. So as all the biopsies are done, once you have a biopsy, they then put a metal chip, I may be wrong, but they put something in where they've taken the biopsy, so if they need to take any more biopsies, they know they can pinpoint exactly where that place was that they took the first ones. So I'm now wondering if I go through an airport security, the metal detector, if I'm now gonna trigger it off. Who knows? So yeah, they did all of that, and then once I'd finished there, I then had to go for another mammogram to make sure all the chips were in place. And oh, honestly, it was so hard to sit there and not cry. Like, my eyes filled up so much, but because I was by myself, I didn't want to cry because there's no one there to help me. So yeah, then yeah, just that, I think out of everything up until surgery, that was like the most emotional I had got. Well, I got more emotional after that. Hold on, I'm skipping ahead. So then once I'd had that mammogram, I then got called into my doctor's office again, and she I just remember the breast care nurse that took me in, she turned to me and said, is anyone with you? And I was like, well, no, because it's COVID, like, why would I have anyone with me? Just from that I knew it wasn't great, because why else would I need someone just sitting there with me? So I sat down and my doctor said, look, it looks suspicious, but it looks treatable. So So as soon as she said that, I just, yeah, I knew. Yeah, I just remember like trying not to cry because I was by myself. I didn't really want to cry, but I just had like a little one, like, and she's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "You're just telling me that I may have breast cancer. This is great news." So then she said, "Okay, we'll either have you back in 2 days if your biopsy results are back. If not, it'll be the week after." So yeah, as soon as I left there, I went into the toilet and just burst out crying. And that was the most emotional part for me, was that bit, because it was just, I'd just gone in for a scan. Like, that's all I thought I was going for. Even though in the back of my head I knew it was breast cancer, I just thought it was going to be a scan and hoped that they would say it was a blocked duct or just it wasn't cancer. So to have that reality was like, oh, okay, my journey now is going a different way than what I thought it would. So I then went in on, not that Thursday, but the next Thursday, to get my results. Josh was able to come to me. Luckily they gave me a little note so I could have someone with me, which was amazing. And we got called into the doctor's office, and sure enough she said, yes, unfortunately you have breast cancer. The lump itself is already 9.5 centimeters, which is huge. I've met so many people that have had like a pea-size lump, and to be told I had 9.5 was just, yeah, mind-blowing. The 9.5 centimeter lump was invasive cancer, and it had already spread into one of my lymph nodes, and then all the little lumps that I had found were like pre-cancerous lumps. So yeah, they weren't sure at the time whether it would be surgery first and then chemo, or chemo first to try and shrink the lump and then I'd have surgery. So that was kind of the options we were given. I was then sent for a CT scan just to make sure the cancer hadn't spread. I was told over the phone, so they called me to let me know. I was told over the phone it hadn't spread. When I went in, it actually had spread. Well, they'd found a node on my lung, but they're not entirely sure if it's cancerous or not, so they're sending me for a CT scan later down the line. But hopefully if it is, my chemo should just get rid of it. But they said they're not worried about it, so I'm trying not to worry about it. But yeah, anyway, that's kind of how I found it, the journey up until I was diagnosed. I haven't actually feel like I've been given a proper diagnosis. Right now they're just saying they think it's like a grade 2 or 3. All I know is I just want to get this sorted. So yeah, that's how I found it. I just want to encourage you all to check yourself, men and women. We can all get it. Once a month, get to know your body, get to know what's normal, and just in case something comes up, you'll understand or recognise that that's not meant to be there, and get it sorted as soon as possible, because early detection can save your life. So check yourself, write in your diary once a month to check your breasts, to make sure, or check everywhere, but for now I'm going to focus on the breast because I'm dealing with breast cancer. So check yourself, make sure that you know your body, know what's right, what's wrong. But yeah, I'll see you on the next video, so thank you for watching.